Welcome back to Making Frugal Fun. I'm Shannon and I share our family's debt-free journey to pay off over $500,000 of debt, some frugal living tips, meal planning, and organizing. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything. If you're just catching up, we've been on our debt-free journey since January of 2019, and since then we've paid off $486,000 of debt. This is a combination of student loans, business debt, IRS debt, credit cards, cars. It was basically everything. We have $85,000 left in student loan debt and about the same in business debt left to go. So we're getting really close if you think about where we started from. Our focus is clearing the student loan debt by summer. Then we will turn our focus to saving a 3 to 6 month emergency fund, and then we'll start saving for a down payment on our very first home. We'll do these things while simultaneously paying off our business debt, since they're separate accounts. Even though our business debt it's still our debt and we want to get it paid off as fast as possible. For the past 2 months, we've paused on paying off debt because we aren't quite sure how much we're going to owe for taxes. We want to make sure we have enough, and as I talk to my accountant, we will then restart our debt payoff. But it's the perfect time since our student loans are federal student loans. There's 0% interest right now. We have no payment on them. So basically, we might as well just save, make sure we have enough for taxes, and then anything left over, we can just put on the debt. It's really hard to do that because I just love making debt payments. Like, it's actually become like a fun thing for me, just seeing the debt balance go down. So when I see the money sitting in my account, I want to put it on debt so we can get rid of it. But I know the smart thing to do is to make sure we have enough saved up for taxes. The very first debt we cleared was IRS debt from having no idea what we were doing, running a small business. So I don't want to ever go down that road again. Now, none of this debt payoff would have been possible without the budget. And so it's almost February, and today we're going to do a budget with me. We're going to go over some things you need to remember to budget for in February. If this is your first time doing a budget and you came across this video, just know that it took us about 7 months to figure out how to budget, to get caught up, because we were so behind when we started our debt-free journey. So we didn't just like wake up one morning and we were amazing at budgeting. It took a lot of time, and you should give yourself about 3 to 4 months to catch on and kind of adjust to budgeting if you've never done it before. So let's jump into some February budget action. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go over some common February budget busters, some things you don't wanna forget to plan for and budget for this month. The more detailed you are in your planning and really sit down and take the time to look at next month's calendar, check your emails from the kids' school and look at anniversaries and birthdays and try to think of everything you might possibly need to spend money on for the next month, the more accurate your budget will be, and that will make it much easier to stick to. You'll be less frustrated overall. I do have a freebie for you guys that I will link in the description box below. It's called my monthly budget buster printables. I have one for every month, and it just has a few things that you don't want to forget that are common or often forgotten when you're making your monthly budget. Even some things that are coming up soon in the next few months that you might want to start saving for. There's one for each and every month, and you can grab them for free down below. So in February, of course, we have Valentine's Day. That can be as frugal or as expensive of a holiday as you want it to be. I will link some blog posts below with some frugal, cheaper free date night ideas, gift ideas. Valentine's Day does not have to be expensive. You can still have a great time just hanging out with your family, have a fun movie night, grab some popcorn and make some heart-shaped Rice Krispie treats or something fun like that. If you are going out for Valentine's Day with your spouse or significant other, of course you want to budget for the dinner, but don't forget about also budgeting for the babysitter and of course any gifts, candy, flowers, anything like that. Don't forget to include that in your budget. Also, we always get the email from the classrooms asking for snack donations for class parties and a reminder that you're going to need to bring Valentines or decorate a shoebox. All of those things, craft supplies, Valentines, you can get those at the dollar store for very cheap, as well as candy, small gifts, other items. Always check out Dollar Tree. I know they recently increased their prices to $1.25, but you can still find some amazing items whenever you are willing to go in there and dig. Also, Target Dollar Spot has some really amazing items from anywhere from $1 to $5, and I find things there all the time that look like they're way more expensive than just a few bucks. It is still cold and flu season, so make sure that you're budgeting for unexpected cold and flu medications that you might need to go to the pharmacy to grab. If you have a high copay or deductible, you might want to set aside a sinking fund, which is just like a small savings account for unexpected doctor's visits. We've already had the stomach bug, the flu. I mean, that stuff is just going around. Make sure that you have some money set aside for unexpected cold, flu, sick visits. Also, you can expect your heating bill to still be up, and you might need to be prepared for extra winter coats or gloves, mittens, wherever you're living if it's still going to be cold for a few months. Some things that are coming around the corner really fast that you probably want to start setting money aside for now are your taxes. If you think there's a chance that you might owe taxes, if you do hire an accountant, you will need to make sure you have money saved to pay the accountant so that that's not a surprise. Spring break is right around the corner, so even if you're not going on a vacation or a trip, which obviously you would budget for, don't forget that you might need extra childcare that week, whether you hire a babysitter or they go to a daycare for that week when they normally go to school. And of course, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, those things are coming soon. Mother's Day, Father's Day, just right around the corner. You might not need to start setting money aside for them yet, but just something to keep in mind as you're doing your February budget. Don't forget to download and pick this up. That's linked below, and it'll help you every month just kind of jog your memory, help you with your planning so that you don't bust your budget. For those miscellaneous categories like Valentine's Day, classroom parties, date night, we always withdraw the cash and use cash envelopes. These are totally not necessary, but they're totally adorable. For $1 in my printable shop, which I'll link below, I have these conversation heart printable Valentine envelopes, cash envelopes. So I'll show you how to cut those out and put them together as well. So our monthly budget goal is around $5,000 a month. We're on a debt-free journey, so always the least amount possible that we can spend, the better, because more can go to debt. We have an irregular income as small business owners. My husband and I own a medical practice where he is the practicing physician. I am also a physician, however, I no longer practice. I am a full-time content creator at Making Frugal Fun doing this. Our practice income is a bit more predictable. However, my blog can make very little and it can make a lot. And a lot of the progress that we made last year on our debt was because my blog exploded, which I am so grateful for. Our bare bones minimum living expenses are probably around $3,000 to $4,000. Like, there's things that we could cut out if necessary. This gives me an added security. If something were to happen, we could go get part-time jobs and still make our minimum bills. And we saw this firsthand during the pandemic when we could no longer pay ourselves at all from our business because we weren't seeing patients. We are podiatrists, not necessarily treating COVID patients, not really emergencies. So we took a big hit during 2020. And in April and May, we both got part-time jobs at an Amazon warehouse making $15 an hour. And we also did DoorDash and Uber Eats. And we lived solely on our DoorDash, Uber Eats, Amazon income for about 2 months. And we were able to do that because we had already done the work to decrease our living expenses as low as we possibly could. We had no idea a pandemic was gonna happen, but I am so thankful that we had already done that. So sometimes we might make 2, 3, even 4 times as much as that, and that is how we were able to pay so much debt off last year. So for this budget, I'm gonna use the February budget and bill tracker that is in my new planner, which you can find in the description below. It's a printable planner. So at the top of the page, I'm going to put $5,000 because that is our target budget. You're going to put whatever income, all the income sources that you have at the top, and your goal is going to be to obviously stay under that, but then hopefully have extra and be able to put that on debt or towards your savings goals. There's a place to put recurring bills. These are things that happen pretty much every month and they're pretty much the same every month. Then you're going to have expenses that are irregular, and that depends on the month. It depends on what you have going on that month, and it might change from month to month. Something I didn't understand when I first started budgeting was that your budget is supposed to be different every month. I thought that you had set expenses every month. That's what they were going to be every month. And I was like so confused, wondering how the heck you're supposed to stick to a budget when it's completely different every month. And that was my biggest frustration. So knowing that every single month at the end of the previous month, you sit down with your spouse, you write everything out, you plan everything out, and figure out what you need to spend money on that month. If you don't have enough for it, then you make a plan to cut your spending or to make more money or sell something, but you don't just give up. You keep trying. So here you'll see things like rent, electric, water. We have a security system, internet, TV. Of course, all of these things aren't 100% necessary, but they usually all fit within our budget. And anything that doesn't, we will find a way to cut or move money around from other budget categories. Things like oil changes, that's something that doesn't happen every month. We were actually going to get an oil change for my car last month, but we ended up having car problems and my husband needed a new battery. So the money that we were going to spend on oil change had to go towards his car repairs. So sometimes you just have to adjust later in the month as well, not just at the beginning of the month. For groceries, if you've followed along for a while with me, you know that we try our best to stick to a grocery budget of $100 a week. However, we budget over that so that we have some buffer just in case. So we usually end up with extra to roll over. We might use it to go grab some more items at Costco that month that we need to stock up on. You can have a target and add buffer if you feel like you're going to get close or you're worried about going over. But if you budget too little, you're going to get frustrated whenever you continually are busting your budget. We try to budget $100 each for fun money. When we were first starting our budget and trying to just get back on track, we did not have any fun money. Then we went to like $50 each, and now we're at $100 each. That's usually the first category to go if we are over budget or need extra money for something. I've talked before about daycare and how it is so expensive when you have 3 kids, and that was one of the first things we decided to get rid of by me staying home, which worked out for us because I was able to work on my blog more and grow our income. But now we only have 1 child in childcare, and they go to a part-time preschool. So it's actually pretty affordable, and it works out because I'm able to work on my blog, record videos, and do a few things that I need some quiet time for while he's at school. We do carry auto insurance, renter's insurance, and ID theft insurance. And then because my husband is a surgeon and I am also licensed as a physician, we do have disability insurance, and we both have life insurance, which is super important to have life insurance so that you can protect your family if anything were to happen to you. So then I just added everything up in our bills column and also our expenses column, added them together, and I came up with a little over $5,000, a couple $100 over $5,000. So that means that we will end up cutting something somewhere or rearranging some things to get to our target budget goal. So I'll usually sit down, write out all of our expenses, and think of things that are coming up that month that we might need. But then I'm going to meet with my husband later this week before February 1st and go over it with him, see if there's anything I'm missing, figure out what we're going to do about the extra $200 where we are over our budget. And some things we'll usually do is adjust the grocery budget. We'll have rollover money from the month before usually. We can decrease our fund money in the budget. And since my husband has already been doing DoorDash and Uber Eats since pandemic time, he will often take like a Monday night or Friday or something like that and go do DoorDash to make extra cash for our fun miscellaneous spending. And another thing you could do to fix a discrepancy in your budget is have a garage sale, sell things on Facebook Marketplace. There's a lot of things you can do. For us, it's very easy to say, we'll just take that out of what we were gonna pay to debt, but that's where things get kind of sticky. So you wanna set a budget goal and stick to it no matter what. Like, tell yourself there's no extra money and do whatever it takes to make up that overage, whether it's reducing your expenses. When you reduce your living expenses to the minimal as possible, it's gonna help a lot with that security until you have your 3 to 6 month emergency fund. Then you can increase your standard of living once you know you have that emergency fund to fall back on. But since we are doing Dave Ramsey's baby step, we have the $1,000 emergency fund. So we wanna make sure that we're living as cheaply as possible in case there is a big emergency or we're unable to work for whatever reason. I hope this February budget with me helped you, gave you some ideas, reminded you that it's time to budget, and got you motivated for the next month. Make sure you check out my free Budget Buster printables and also my cute February cash envelopes. I'll link everything below that was mentioned in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.